And this guy here is standing right next to the official Pokemon love nest of Johto. I wonder if he's as perverted as that little girl in Solaceon. That is, if you believe Marriland's version of the story. I imagine that some of you have seen that video, but for the benefit of those of you who haven't, I'm going to put up a link to it in the movie description, and I guarantee you it's well worth it, even if it clocks in at less than a minute. Oh well, sometimes the shortest things are also the sweetest. But speaking of breeding, I'm surprised at how many people have trouble understanding how things work. It's not that complicated. The baby is going to be the same species as the mother, and if the father knows any egg moves of the mother's species, then the baby is going to be born with that move as well. For example, if you got, for example, a female Crobat and a male Honchkrow with Nasty Plot, then Nasty Plot is in Zubat's egg move list, so the Zubat is going to be born with Nasty Plot. And yes, I'm aware that for that, you have to accept the fact that a bat can have sex with a crow. And I think everyone has accepted it now, and you can push that concept to ridiculous extremes. For example, I think everyone's heard of Hot Skitty on Wailord Action, which makes no sense because the Skitty itself ought to be even smaller than a Wailord's reproductive organ, so how does it even work? But anyway, even if you're going to accept that kind of thing, you gotta keep in mind though, not everyone with Nasty Plot can breed with that female Crobat and have the baby Zubat learn Nasty Plot. In fact, Crobat can only breed with the members of the egg groups it belongs to, because that's something else. There are egg groups which work nearly in an identical way to types. There are 17 of them, except there are 3 water types this time. Water 1, Water 2, and Water 3. If that isn't an admission that there are too many water types, then I don't know what is. But anyway, you can take that breeding mechanic I explained earlier and use it to make breeding chains, because sometimes you're going to be forced to make chains if you want to have certain Pokemon learn certain moves. Now, as I just explained, you can just breed with a Honchkrow to have a Zubat with Nasty Plot, though there are other possibilities. For example, you could have a Togekiss that has Nasty Plot and breed it with the female Crobat. However, Togekiss only learns Nasty Plot by egg moves. So what you do is you take the original Togekiss, you have a female one, and a male Plusle or Minun. Now you breed them. No, one of them, not both at the same time, gee! Anyway, you take one of them and you breed it with the female Togekiss, and then you are going to have a baby Togepi with Nasty Plot. Now the important thing, since you're doing a train, is you're going to want to hatch several eggs until you get a male one. And you'll want to evolve that Togepi afterwards, because Togepi is a baby and it cannot breed. And now that you have that male Togetic, or Togekiss if you want to evolve it again, that's your choice, you can breed it with that female Crobat. And by that I include female Zubats and Golbats as well, since they can all breed, and you're going to end up with that baby Zubat with Nasty Plot. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and we're entering more advanced theory here, is the fact that some egg move combinations are illegal. For example, that Zubat with Nasty Plot can have several different fathers. You can have a Honchkrow, you can have a Togekiss, you can have a Chatot. Now, if you want to have Hypnosis as well, there is only one possible father, and that is Noctowl. Well, there's also other Crobats, but that doesn't count, of course. So that means no father can have both Hypnosis and Nasty Plot, as this girl here is going to give me items sometimes if she calls me back. And I wonder if it's one of the trainers that give elemental stones. Maybe it is. Though, as I said before, I am not really interested because I'm not planning on using anything that requires these stones, so yeah, I'm still gonna take them if she wants to give me some, but oh well. Wait, why the hell did I use Nightshade against Taratata? I know it doesn't work, you know it doesn't work, so why did I do it? Maybe I lapsed out for a moment because I was talking at the same time? No, that's no excuse, I do that all the time, so why did I do that? Oh well, better stop thinking about it. But as I was about to say, Hypnosis and Nasty Plot Crobat is perhaps the most commonly cited example of a Forbidden Egg move combination. Others include Belly Drum and Aqua Jet Azumarill. Oh my god, it would kick so much ass if it could just have them at the same time. Please make it possible in the next generation. Please! They already made the Whirlwind and Drillpex Karmory viable, so why not this as well? And yes, for the uninitiated, that Karmory was illegal in the 3rd generation, but is now legal thanks to Firo acquiring Whirlwind as an egg move, since it already had Drillpeck. Now before I wrap up my breeding talk, there's one comment I'd like to make, and it's actually twofold. You know how every Pokemon can breed with Ditto, aside from legendaries of course? Well, even genderless Pokemon can breed with Ditto, but they don't have any genitalia, and of course neither is the Ditto that's going to replicate said Pokemon. For example, Starmie. How could a Starmie not be able to breed with another Starmie, but it would be able to breed with a Ditto that's mimicking a Starmie? And number 2, it's not just with genderless Pokemon that this is wrong. It's even wrong with gendered Pokemon. Imagine a male Pokemon breeding with a Ditto. Well, the Ditto is going to be a perfect replication of its partner, so to speak. So that means we have a male Pokemon breeding with a male Pokemon. Now, I'm not going to judge homosexual relationships. However, the fact is that babies can be born from such relationships. Babies can't be born from gay sex! That's impossible! Ah, those wacky Japanese. And what I'm trying to do now, and failing miserably at, of course, is that I'm trying to get to the underground. Unfortunately, either the bike handles differently than it did in red, blue, and yellow, or I've just gotten a lot more inept since I have wrapped up that LP. So now I'm running into random encounters for no reason whatsoever, and I'm gonna change my lead because I'm out of Thunder PP. So yeah, I'm trying to get to the underground, and aside from the trainers, there are a couple things to do there. There are the haircut brothers, as I like to call them, and what they do is that they give your Pokemon a haircut, and depending on the day of the week, there's a different brother there. The younger brother charges less money, but the happiness increase of the Pokemon that get the haircut is lower. However, the older brother charges more, but the happiness increase is higher. Now, somebody explain to me, just how do you give a Ghastly a haircut? That just doesn't work. Again? And I wouldn't want to see what happens after you give a haircut to a Tangela or a Tangrowth. Actually, scratch that. I really want to see what would happen, because who isn't curious to see what's behind those vines? But that's enough for now. I'm going to continue the underground next time.